So I'm curious, Roger, traditional economics, what you've clearly been having a universe of thoughts in this. What's come into focus for you?
I think this discussion that involves both of my colleagues' questions that I'm surprised you haven't come up with, because I think, first of all, we understand most of us don't depend on social businesses to provide for our credit and our goods and services and our yogurt. We for profit business, for profit. But I think what the social business you're talking about is about extending the market to include people who have not been included who've not been brought into the opportunity to transact in these markets, given an opportunity to before, and so in some sense, I would have thought you would say to be agnostic between for profit and not for profit, and have a whole spectrum, but actually have a systematic time trend you'd want, because for long-term governance, you've no question that the companies you've set up, if they can function as for-profit companies, you know that their long-term governance will be sustainable forever, and I think that's so. I would have thought you would want to embrace a model of a transition, and you were concerned that this was a negative thing, but actually I would think that there's nothing better to guarantee that the mission of the corporation will be sustained for generations than knowing that it can bring in investor capital. And I would have thought you'd want to talk about a not-for-profit transitioning to those who don't choose to withdraw their capital. After 20 years, it's going to become a for-profit company as being some kind of ideal. It would solve a long-term governance problem.
That's the point. Where is this money coming from? It can come from charity side on the right. It is in the middle, zero profit and no dividend and 100% social. Some of the charity organization, people who hand out to solve the problem, give handouts. They see, maybe there's a better way. Maybe some of these things can be converted into social business so that it runs by itself rather than putting money all the time. So they will say, okay, maybe I should do that. Governments were good at giving things free to the citizens and promise every election, I'll do more, and create budget problem, which you mentioned, that the huge budget comes up. May think, okay, this can be, part of this can be done in a social business way. Can I create a social business to take care of the unemployed people rather than give charity money for them from the state? Can I take care of the welfare recipient to create a job, create activity, create entrepreneurship through social business so that I don't have to take care of them year after year, and put them into kind of a limbo. They are not in the real world. They are kind of taken care of by the state, by the charity, by the welfare of the system. So if I can do that, so this money can be released. This money can be released to create social businesses. So enormous amount of money that we give out from the state machinery by taking, if a small piece of it can be converted into social business without giving any kind of negative reaction, no, I don't want to go there. No, those who are willing to do that, they can take that path, and this is an option available to them. So this is one. And to give an example on that, the Wiesbaden, one city in Germany, the mayor of Wiesbaden, he has just recently announced that he will make his city as a social business city. So we all asked the question, what does it mean to him? Because he was addressing a conference of social business. He said, because I see that I have so many problems in my city. I have unemployment problem, I have the problem of drinking, I have the problem of ethnic conflict in my city, I have the problem of old age, single mother, any city whichever they have the same problems. He said, now learning about social business, actually, there are more than 3,000 businesses in my city. So what I'm going to do, go to each business to see if they will create one tiny little social business alongside their conventional business. Address one of the problems that we face in the city in a small little way. If each one can come up with a business solution to my problem, then I have two things. I have less burden on my budget because this small number has come out of that. I don't have to take care of them. And also I created a whole new idea generation. Each company is trying to outsmart each other in coming out with a brighter solution to the problem. And it doesn't cost them enormous money. Just a tiny little piece of the problem, each one of the problem, old age, single mother, unemployment and so on and so forth, they can do that. So this is the way. So this is something which will be releasing their energy and their capacity to address the problems. At the same time, city feeling good that we are taking care of everybody, that we are not, in a sense, making people dependent on state subsidy and so on.
Well, that's brilliant, Brad.